America is a very large country. Its history is long and full of events. This essay will tell you about that history. We will look at its journey through time, from the earliest settlements by people to the way America is in our modern day. Many big changes have happened. Many different people helped shape the nation. It is truly an epic and important tale. We will begin with the first people. These people lived on the land for centuries. Then, European settlers started to arrive. They came across the vast ocean. They built new homes and communities. These places were called colonies. The colonies grew stronger over many years. Eventually, they wanted their own freedom. This desire led to the birth of a new nation. The United States of America was formed. This new nation faced many hard tests. There was a terrible war between its own states. There were big changes in how things were made. This was called the Industrial Revolution. There were important fights for equal rights. These fights were for all citizens. America changed a great deal over time. It grew to become a powerful world leader. Many difficult challenges were overcome on this path. This history is a story about people. It is about their hopes and their dreams. It is also about their struggles and hardships. They all dreamed of a better future. Understanding this long past is very important. It helps us to understand America today. It shows us how the present came to be. So let us start this journey together now. America's fascinating history is about to unfold. A very long time ago, this land was home. It was home to Native American people. They were the very first people here. They had many diverse and rich cultures. They lived in many different ways. They understood the land and its seasons well. Their lives changed forever when new people came. Tall ships appeared on the ocean coasts. These ships brought people from faraway lands. It was the start of a new era. European explorers and settlers sailed west. They crossed the wide Atlantic Ocean. They came to America for many reasons. Some were looking for gold and other riches. Some wanted the freedom to practice their religion. Others simply looked for new lands and new lives. Countries like England, Spain, and France started colonies. These were small, new settlements at first. Life was often very difficult for these early settlers. They faced unknown dangers and hardships. Jamestown in Virginia was an early English town. It was founded way back in the year 1607. Later, the Pilgrims arrived in the north. They landed their ship at a place called Plymouth Rock. They wanted to worship God in their own way, freely. Many more people from Europe followed them. They built simple homes and started small farms. The colonies slowly began to grow in size. More land was cleared for farming and towns. The colonists and Native Americans met each other. Sometimes they were able to trade goods peacefully. They learned new things from one another. But other times there was serious conflict. Disagreements over land were a very big issue. The European ways of life were very different. These early years were full of challenges. They laid the foundation for the future of America. A new and complex society started to form. The American colonies continued to grow. They became quite successful over the years. Great Britain was the country that ruled them, but the colonies were far across the ocean. The colonists started to want more say in things. They did not like the taxes from Great Britain. No taxation without representation was their famous cry. This was a very powerful and important idea. It meant they should not pay taxes without a voice. They wanted to govern themselves more. Tensions between Britain and the colonies grew. The disagreements became much stronger. Britain sent more soldiers to the colonies. The colonists protested in many different ways. The Boston Tea Party was a famous protest. Colonists threw tea into the harbor. Leaders like Thomas Jefferson began to speak out. They believed strongly in the idea of self-rule. The desire for freedom became very strong. It seemed a big fight was about to happen. The American Revolutionary War started in 1775. American colonists fought against British soldiers. George Washington became the leader of the American Army. It was a very long and difficult war. Many people suffered during these years. On July 4, 1776, a very important step was taken. The Declaration of Independence was signed by leaders. This document said that America was now free. It declared that America was an independent nation. France decided to help America in the war. Their support was very important for victory. The war finally ended in the year 1783. America was truly independent from Great Britain. A new government was needed for the new country. The Constitution of the United States was written. It created a new system of government. A republic was formed with elected leaders. This was a new and hopeful kind of nation. The world watched this new experiment unfold. The new American nation grew much larger. More states joined the original 13, but a very big and serious problem remained. This terrible problem was the practice of slavery. In the southern states, farming was very important. Many large farms called plantations used enslaved people. These people were forced to work without pay. The northern states had more factories and industries. Many people in the north began to oppose slavery. This disagreement between north and south grew very deep. The country became deeply divided over slavery. It was the north against the south. States argued about the new lands in the west. Would these new states allow slavery or be free? Many leaders tried hard to find compromises. They wanted to keep the country together, but the anger and fear were too strong. The southern states felt their way of life was threatened. They worried the federal government would end slavery. They decided they wanted to leave the Union. In the year 1861, the Civil War began. 11 southern states left the Union. They formed their own country, the Confederate States of America. Abraham Lincoln was the President of the United States. He believed it was vital to keep the country together. The war was terrible, tragic, and very bloody. Famous battles like Gettysburg were fought fiercely. Many brave soldiers died on both sides. Families were torn apart by the conflict. It was a dark and painful time for America. The North had more people than the South. It also had more factories to make supplies. After 4 long years, the war ended in 1865. The North, or the Union, won the war. Slavery was officially ended everywhere in the nation. The nation was reunited, but it was scarred. Healing the deep wounds took a very long time. The Civil War changed America in profound ways. It tested the nation's deepest values of freedom and unity. The country had to rebuild and redefine itself. Section 5. Forging Modernity, the Industrial Revolution. After the difficult Civil War ended, America changed fast. This period was known as the Industrial Revolution. Many new and amazing machines were invented. Large factories were built in many cities. Many people began to move away from farms. They went to the growing cities to find work. This was a completely new way of life for many. It brought about very big changes to society. The country was transforming at a rapid pace. A new modern America was taking shape. Railroads quickly spread all across the country. They were like iron ribbons connecting distant places. Goods and people could be moved much more easily. Steel was produced in very large amounts. This strong metal was used to build bridges and buildings. Oil became a new and important source of fuel. Amazing inventions like the telephone appeared. Alexander Graham Bell invented it. Thomas Edison invented the electric light bulb. Life was transforming quickly for many Americans. Big businesses and companies grew very powerful. Some business owners became extremely rich. They were sometimes called industrialists or captains of industry. But life for factory workers was often very hard. The pay they received was sometimes quite low. Working conditions in factories could be dangerous. Children sometimes had to work long hours. Workers started to join together to form unions. They wanted better pay and safer conditions. This was a time of great progress but also new problems. Cities grew very quickly and became crowded. Many immigrants came from countries around the world. They came to America seeking jobs and new lives. They added their cultures to America's diverse mix. But cities also had poor areas called slums. Life was not easy for everyone in these new cities. America was becoming a modern industrial nation. It was strong and growing, but it faced new challenges. These challenges were about fairness and opportunity for all. Section 6. Trials and Triumphs, the World Wars and America's Rise. The early part of the 20th century brought new tests. World War I started in Europe in 1914. It was a huge and destructive war. America tried to stay out of the conflict at first. President Woodrow Wilson wanted peace. But events pulled America into the war in 1917. American soldiers helped their allies to win. After the war ended in 1918, America was stronger. The 1920s were an exciting time for many. This decade was called the Roaring Twenties. Then a very hard time began. This was the Great Depression. It started with a stock market crash in 1929. Many people lost their jobs and savings, banks closed down, and many businesses failed. Life was very difficult for millions of Americans. President Franklin D. Roosevelt was elected. He started programs called the New Deal. These programs offered relief and created jobs. The government took a much bigger role in society. It tried to fix the broken economy. World War II began in Europe in 1939. It was another terrible global conflict. America joined the war after Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. This attack happened on December 7, 1941. The whole country united to fight the war. Men went overseas to fight as soldiers. Women took on new roles working in factories. They built planes, ships, and tanks. America and its allies fought hard together. They fought against Germany, Italy, and Japan. The war was very long and extremely costly. The Allies won World War II in 1945. This victory changed the world greatly. America emerged from the war as a superpower. It had a very strong economy. It also had a very powerful military. America played a new, very big role in world affairs. It helped to rebuild war-torn Europe. The United Nations organization was formed. Its goal was to help keep peace in the world. America was now a leading nation on the global stage. Section 7, the March for Equality, the Civil Rights Movement. Even after slavery was ended by the Civil War, life was not equal. African Americans still faced many unfair laws. This was especially true in the southern states. These unfair laws were called Jim Crow laws. They forced black people and white people to be separate. This separation was in schools, on buses, and in restaurants. This system was called segregation. It was unjust and denied basic human rights. Many people knew this was wrong and had to change. The desire for true freedom and equality grew stronger. People began to organize and fight for change. This long struggle became the Civil Rights Movement. Brave leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. emerged. He believed in using peaceful, non-violent protest. He inspired millions with his powerful words. Rosa Parks, a courageous woman, refused to give up her bus seat. Her actions sparked the Montgomery bus boycott. Many ordinary people joined the fight for justice. They wanted equal rights and opportunities for all Americans. They showed great courage in facing opposition. There were many important protests and marches. Freedom riders bravely rode buses into the segregated South. Students held sit-ins at lunch counters that refused service. The March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom was huge. Hundreds of thousands gathered in Washington, D.C. Dr. King gave his famous "I Have a Dream" speech there. It was a powerful and moving call for racial justice. The movement faced much resistance and opposition. Sometimes there was violence against protesters. But the people kept fighting for their rights. Important new laws were passed by the government. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a landmark. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 followed. These laws made segregation in public places illegal. They helped to protect the voting rights of African Americans. The Civil Rights Movement changed America very deeply. It was a long and brave struggle for basic human dignity. The fight for full equality continues even today. It remains a very important part of America's story. The dream of equality is still being pursued. Section 8. Navigating a New Century Modern America. America moved into the 21st century. This new century brought new challenges and big changes. Technology advanced at a very rapid pace. The internet changed how people live their lives. It changed how they work and how they connect. Globalization also became a powerful force. This means countries became more linked together. Economies around the world became more connected. This brought many new opportunities for some. It also brought new worries and uncertainties for others. On September 11, 2001, a terrible event happened. Terrorists attacked the United States. They attacked New York City and Washington, D.C. America was shocked, saddened, and angered. The country then went to war in Afghanistan. It also later went to war in Iraq. These wars lasted for many, many years. They had a very big impact on the nation. National security became a top concern for the government. The world felt like a more dangerous place. The American economy faced ups and downs. There was a big economic recession in 2008. Many people lost their homes and their jobs. It was a very difficult time for families. In politics, America elected its first African-American president. Barack Obama served for 2 terms in office. This was a truly historic and significant moment. However, political divisions in the country also grew deeper. People often had very strong and different views. Finding agreement became harder on many issues. Today in 2025, America faces many important issues. Climate change is a very big global challenge. Healthcare access and costs are another important topic. Immigration continues to be a subject of debate. America's role in the wider world is complex. It is still a leader in many different ways, but it also faces new competition from other nations. The nation continues to evolve and to change. Its long and fascinating story keeps going on. New challenges and opportunities lie ahead. Section 9. Reflections on the Journey, an Evolving Nation. We have now journeyed through America's long history. We saw it grow from small, struggling colonies. It became a large and powerful modern nation. It is a story filled with many big changes. It is also a story of many different people. Each person, in their own way, played a part. The nation was founded on important ideals. Ideals like freedom, liberty, and democracy. But these high ideals were not always met for everyone. The struggle to live up to them is part of the story. America has faced many difficult struggles. There was a war fought to become independent. There was a terrible war fought to stay united. There were long fights for fairness and equal rights. There were times of economic boom and prosperity. There were also times of hardship and depression. Through all of these trials, the nation endured. It often learned from its past mistakes. It tried, sometimes slowly, to become a better place. The journey was certainly not always smooth or easy. The story of America is very complex. It has many moments of great national pride. It also has difficult moments of shame and regret. Understanding all parts of this history is important. This helps us to see the full and true picture. The events of the past shape the present day. The past also helps to guide the future. America is a nation that is always changing. It is a project that is never truly finished. It continues to be redefined by each generation. The words and actions of the past still echo today. The dreams of the early settlers for a new life, the passionate calls for justice and for equality, the enduring spirit of invention and of progress. America's epic journey continues to move forward. New chapters are being written every single day. The future of the nation depends on its people, their choices and